we're doing lessons 5 and 6. So lesson 5 and 6, it's they're like the real practices start now, right? I mean, the practices we're going to learn now are the ones that you make use of for many, many years, actually, right? Maybe your entire yoga practice career, in fact. The lessons, so the previous lessons were basically kind of just more introductory, right? I mean, just to get you warmed up, essentially, right? But now the real stuff begins, right? So again, I'll come back to these. What's learned here, I'll come back to them in the advanced class next year as well, and can keep revisiting basically these practices, right? So, any questions about class so far before we begin? Everyone's good, eh? Morning. So the first thing we're going to learn is Surya Namaskara. So Surya Namaskara is like, for me, it's the it's the ultimate asana. It stretches the body in pretty much every direction. It gets the heart rate going, the blood circulation. It's basically a complete asana, a complete exercise, right? So, I mean, it's like the number one asana. In fact, I say that, right? I mean, it's the one practice I've been doing I do every single day, no matter what. I do Surya Namaskara. I begin my practice with Surya Namaskara every single day, right? And from now on, after this class, from every class from now on, we'll start every practice with Surya Namaskara, right? Every class. So it's a series of 12 postures. You do them twice, kind of once on the left side of the body, once on the right side, right? So 24 is like one round, 24 postures. And basically today I'll just show you them, very slowly, one by one, so you can make sure you're familiar with all of it, with all 12. And then, and we'll take it slow. We'll spend a good amount of time trying to, make sure everybody gets this practice, right? So the first, it starts off standing up. I'm just going to twist my mat a bit so that you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. How's that look?
Good.
Good? Okay. So the first posture. So again, there's many aspects to this exercise. There's postures themselves. Then there's synchronizing the breathing. Then there's mantras you can repeat. And then there's the chakras that you can concentrate on. And you can do, you combine all of that into like one, exercise that actually does, asanas, pranayama, and meditation all combined, in fact, the ultimate sense of this practice, right? But today we're just going to focus on the physical postures, right? So that's the first step. Memorize all the physical postures. It's the first thing you have to do. So the first posture is the prayer pose. So very simply, just stand straight, feet, not perfectly together, but just, comfortably together. Shoulders relaxed, palms together in the center of the chest. Elbows down.
Heels together. Sonia, heels together.
Oh, sorry. I'll stand here, but my hand will touch that.
Okay. Yeah. Right? So prayer pose, very simply, right? And in this pose, when you start, you take a few breaths, just center yourself, bring your mind to your body, right? And you exhale completely. Okay? After you've exhaled, the second posture is called raised arm pose, right? So again, from here, you just take your hands up, straight up, and then stretch, and then arch back. Okay, that's the second posture. Then you come forward, right, raised arm. The third posture is forward bending. So again, keep your knees straight, okay, and just try to reach your hands down as far as you can. If you can get your fingers to the floor, that's great. And put your hands kind of in line with your toes so they come straight down. And the idea is to actually put your palms to the floor next to your feet, right? And you exhale completely here, right? Okay? From here, you take your right leg, right? The next one's called the equestrian pose. You take your right leg and you push it all the way back. So keep your hands now flat next to your to the foot that's there, and you take your right foot all the way back. Okay? And you stretch it as much as you can. So this part of your leg you keep vertical, right? So this part of your leg should be vertical. Okay? So take your knee back as far, such that this part stays vertical, and then you push your pelvis to the floor. So you try to push this part of the ground to touch the floor. You look up, and you arch your back, and you stretch, and you inhale. Right? So from here we go to the mountain pose. So now you take your other foot back, next to the previous one, the other one. So your knees line up, open your toes, and then up on your feet, and try to push your heels to the ground, knees straight, and you try to, and then you kind of arch your back downwards. And exhale. Okay, from here it's the 8-point pose. So from here you come down, again depending on the strength of your arms, you can either come down with your nose first or your knees first. Right? So I come down with my nose first, and then my knees, and then my chin. Right? So you keep your, this one you kind of compress your body a bit, so your buttocks sticks up in the air. Right? Your hands are next to your shoulders. Right? Chin is on the ground, so 8 points. Your 2 hands, your 2 toes, your 2 knees, and your chest is on the ground. Right? And you should have held the breath out at this point. Okay, from here you go flat on the ground. So stretch your legs back out. Right. Next pose is the cobra pose, what we learned last week. Right. So just stretch your legs flat. Inhale, and then push with your arms up. Keep your hips on the ground. Inhale, and push with your hands as much as you can. Look up and arch back as much as you can. Try to keep your back relaxed, and mainly push with your hands to achieve the stretch of the back. And inhale deeply. So from here we go back into the mountain pose. So put your toes back up. Here. Try to touch your heels to the ground. Okay, now from here we go to the equestrian pose. We take our left leg and bring it forward. Put it between our hands. Okay, so once again, this is the same pose we did before with the right leg back. Inhale. Look up. Okay, from here, forward bending pose. So put the other foot next to the first foot. Try to keep your palms on the ground and straighten your knees. Okay, and then you inhale up, arms up and back. And bring palms into prayer pose. And that's half a round, right? So the only difference with the next set is instead of having the right leg back, in both in the equestrian pose, you have the left leg back, right? So same thing again, we'll go a little quicker this time. So prayer pose, exhale, inhale, arms up, stretch back, and exhale. Arms forward, hands next to your feet, and inhale, left leg back this time. Okay. All right, exhale, mountain pose. Okay. Down to the 8-point pose. Okay, then go flat, cobra, inhale. Okay, back in mountain. Exhale. Okay, equestrian pose. This time right leg forward. Inhale. Okay, now both feet. And forward bend. And inhale. Drop back. And then exhale, parrot pose. So you can do like 2, 3, 4. So that was one round. You can do like again 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds, however many you would like. Start off with maybe 2 or 3 initially, right? And usually you do like maybe do like 2 slow and then 2 fast kind of thing, right? And it's a great way to start your practice. Then you end with Shavasana. We'll do like maybe 30 seconds of Shavasana. If you remember, just lie on your back. And now it's actually you should be able to hear your heartbeat, feel your heartbeat. So do that. Okay, can sit back up again. Hold my mat facing forward. So again, is any questions about that? All right, pretty clear. So again, there's a huge list of benefits, for the digestive system, elimination system, circulatory system, respiratory system, endocrine system, and the benefits are like again more than any other, all the other asanas combined almost, right? So again, I recommend everybody, try to practice this one, every day at the start of your practice, right? I have another cleansing technique here. Again, it's, I did it once, but that was it. It's something we all do, basically cleaning the stomach with air, right? Otherwise known as burping. But basically this practice, what you do is you swallow air, right? Fill your stomach with air by swallowing air, and then you just bring it back out by burping. So it's, it's an okay practice, but and again, it's a very mild cleaning, not like Kunjal. Kunjal is a very very thorough, more thorough cleaning when you do it with the water, right? But again, it's fine. I guess the main idea though is don't be afraid to burp, right? Burping is good for you essentially, right? Okay. Less than 6. Agnisar Kriya. Another one of my favorite practices. So this one, so all of the organs of the body are just kind of in this area, right? You've got your, your kidneys, your liver, your gallbladder, your intestines, small intestines, large intestines, your stomach, right? And, diaphragm. Everything is here, right? Actually, again, so the idea with this practice, right? Again, even your heart and your lungs, everything's in this area, right? So the idea with this practice is that what happens is, again, it's just, poor circulation, right? So like all these organs, they kind of like absorb blood into them, right? They fill with blood, they soak with blood, right? And the idea with this practice is actually kind of like to squeeze out and the blood gets stale after some time. You need to like give them fresh blood, all your organs, right? To keep them healthy. So the idea with this practice is that you squeeze out, you squeeze all of these organs, right? You like pull in your stomach, you push your diaphragm up, pull in your stomach, right? Exhale completely. And then you use your abdominals to kind of like massage all the organs, right? Abdominals out and in, right? You like contract them in and out. I'll demonstrate for you so you can see it. Seeing is better than trying to explain it. And basically you give your whole, all of your internal organs a very good massage, right? And like squeeze out all this stale blood and allow them to absorb like fresh blood again, right? So I'll give you a demonstration of it. Actually, want to zoom the camera so we get a good shot?
Sure.
So just zoom in right on my stomach.
Not too low.
Okay. So what you do is, so I exhale completely, you hold the breath out, right? Exhale completely, hold the breath out, and then I'll pull in my stomach and I'll massage my organs, right? So just take a look. Okay, everybody got a good look? So, anyways, it's an excellent practice. I do this one every day as well. So I do Surya Namaskara, and I do this one like every single day, right? Again, it also helps your digestive system as well. I mean, if you have anything that's like, constipation and all that, if you have any trouble with that, it just takes everything out very easily, right? So got a good shot?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I don't know if anybody wants to give that a try.
But I do it standing up instead of sitting.
Oh yeah, you can do it standing up as well, that's right. You can do it standing up as well. It's equally as good standing up. So whichever you feel more comfortable with, yeah. Okay. Good. So next we have camel pose. But it's very good. I mean, it's extremely good practice.
Could you explain to us, to the girls, in details how to do it? Just we have to feel it, or there is a certain technique?
No, you exhale completely, right? You just breathe out completely, hold the breath out, right? Okay. So you hold the air out, and then just your stomach will collapse at that point. When you exhale completely, you've already pushed your diaphragm up to some extent, right? Just hold it there now, and then you got to be able to feel your abdominals, right? So then just feel your abdominal muscles and just pull them back against, towards your spine essentially, right? So you pull them back to your spine.
You have to be bent in some way, like he was bent.
Exactly, you have to be bent, yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have to actually. I mean, you can do it. I can do it just like this, right, as well, right? It's easier if you bend over, though. I mean, it's easier. Probably standing up is the easiest way to do it, right? But I mean,
Because you use certain muscles, right?
yes, exactly.
Not
You have to use
all the
those
muscles.
abdominals, yes. Right. So you have to then you just use them to push them back, and then push them forward, right?
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And it just takes practice. Yeah, it just takes practice to get control of those muscles, right? In the advanced practices, I'll show you another one too, where you can actually control. There's two sets of muscles here, right? You can actually control them individually, right? So then I push one out, push one back in, push this one out, push this one back in, right? So you get a rolling effect then, right? Do you do that one as well?
No, that.
Nowly? Yeah? Okay, yeah.
I can isolate the central muscle,
Right.
but I couldn't roll it.
Okay, yeah. So anyways, I'll show you that in the advanced classes. But that'll be the next step. I mean, again, it even gives a much better, that actually practice will actually push everything out of your intestines, actually. I mean, that'll completely clean your digestive tract, right? That practice.
Just men.
A lot of other things.
So anyways, we'll finish off the asanas in lesson 6. Camel pose is next. Actually, I'm going to be on my knees. You want to see if the video is okay for this? Actually, I'll go on the side too. Spin my down again so you can see me. Okay. Good. So this one's pretty simple, just up on your knees, right? Okay, you reach back with one hand onto your heel, right? Okay, and then you take the other hand back onto the other heel. All right? You push your chest out, all right? And let your head fall back. And just breathe deeply and stretch. Okay, then come all the way in reverse. Take one hand off, the other hand off, right? I think the next one too is actually good from the side. Actually, this one is okay. Next one's just the raised leg pose. So again, if you have like, maybe if you have like a lower back problem, maybe you should avoid this one, right? Because there's a bit of a, a strain on the lower back for this exercise. But basically, you just lie flat in the back. And it's just raising your leg up. So you raise your leg to about 45 degrees, and then back down to about like 6 inches off the ground. Your heel's 6 inches off the ground, then back up 45 degrees. Do that until your stomach muscles can't take it anymore, basically. Okay, so raise it up, like 45 degrees. Okay. Now lower it back down to about, keep your heels about 6 inches off the ground. Okay. Then back to like 45 degrees.
And no special breathing cue?
Well, some people do it with the breath inhaled completely. Other people, you can breathe during the practice as well. And then relax. Then take your legs slowly all the way down to the ground, very slowly in a very controlled manner, as slow as you can. All right, all the way down. And relax. Now take a few deep breaths. Because again, when you're doing that exercise, it's hard to breathe. In fact, you're taking fairly shallow breaths if you're breathing at all. Okay. So, see, with that practice, you'll strengthen these abdominals here. You'll strengthen them, right? And then you'll be able to do Kriya actually, right? So if you practice this one, eventually you'll be very familiar with those muscles. They'll get very strong, and then you'll be able to do Kriya quite easily, right? Next one's the tiger stretch. So if you remember, the cat stretch was arching the back simply. So now you combine that with the movement of the leg, right? So it's the same thing, except you combine it with the movement of the leg. So this one, okay, again, you exhale, right? You exhale, arch your back up, and you take your right leg and bring it to your forehead. Then you inhale and swing your leg back. Arch your back down, take your leg up, and try to touch your foot to your head, basically, is the idea here. Right? Inhale, then exhale, back down. Okay. Head to the knee, arch your back up. Inhale and up. And then down. And up. And then down. Okay. And then relax on all fours. Okay, do the same thing with the other leg, right? So on the left leg. Again, exhale, forward. Back. So the next one is a hockey thing like this. That's okay. So the next one is some more for stretching the legs, right? So we did several practices in lesson 1, I think, for stretching out the legs, because again, ultimately you need to be able to sit. For the pranayama, for the meditation, you have to be able to like sit for a long time without getting uncomfortable, right? So again, key to that, and plus you should be able to sit like, we'll need to eventually go to a more advanced sitting posture, right, as I showed you before. So again, these practices will help you develop the flexibility in your legs to do that. So this one now, we learned the half butterfly before, if you remember. This is the, today I'll show you the full butterfly, right? So with this one, you put your soles of your feet together in front of you, right? You pull your legs in as close as you can. So right up to your groin area, right? You can hold onto your toes. Put your elbows on your thighs, and then push and try to get your knees to the ground, right? Right? If you want to get more leverage, you can put your hands on your ankles. That way your elbows go out to your knees more so, and it's easier to push. And then relax, and just squeeze your legs together to relax those muscles. Okay, next one's another one from the squatting pose. All right, just in the squatting pose again. Remember, clasp your hands together. It's called chopping wood. And again, you're just, you swing your arms up and back as far as you can, and then down. Inhale and up, and down. Up, and down. Up, and down. Actually, the next one too is from the squatting pose as well. Vayu Nishkasana. Right? So this one, you start off in a squat, and you put your hands under your heels, and then you just stand up, basically, right? So you just straighten your knees. So again, this one, because your hands are stuck under your heels, it just forces you to stretch. Right? It's a way to kind of help you, stretch your hamstrings, I guess, right? So down, and then up. And down, and up. And then down. And then up. And then down. Okay, that's it for asanas. Fix the camera. Grab some water. Okay, so again, I said we're going to just do one pranayama technique, and Nadi Shodhana, right? So that's the alternate nostril breathing. So the next thing we learn now, so last week we did, a few breaths from the left nostril, then a few breaths from the right nostril, and then alternates, right? So inhale left, exhale right, inhale right, exhale left. So the next step now is to leave off the single nostril breathing, right? And you start with just the inhale left, exhale right, exhale left. So do that for about maybe 2 or 3 minutes. We'll do that. And then what you try to do is you try to increase the length of the exhalation, right? So again, ideally you want to get to the point where your exhale is twice as long as your inhalation, right? So if you inhale for like 4 seconds, I find 4 seconds is a good number to work with. So just do a count of 4 in your head. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and finish your inhale. And then exhale for like twice as long as that, which would be like 8 seconds, right? So exhale more slowly. And count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And inhale again. So again, you're doing an alternate. So you inhale left nostril for 4 seconds, exhale the right nostril for 8 seconds, inhale the right nostril for 4 seconds, and exhale the left for 8, right? Okay, we'll do that for another 2 or 3 minutes, okay? So we'll give that a try. So yeah, 2 minutes for the first one and 3 minutes for the second one. Okay, and I'll tell you when you should just go from non-counting, so just do normal breathing for the first 2 minutes without counting, and then I'll tell you to start counting, right? And then try to get it to like 4 seconds and 8 seconds. Okay? So again, sit comfortably in your, in your simple meditative posture, right? Again, you put your 2 fingers between your eyebrows, right? Use your thumb for closing the right nostril, and your ring finger for the left nostril, right? So you start with inhaling on the left, okay? So I'll just let everybody go and begin. And also full yogic breathing. So inhale as much as you can and exhale as much as you can for the whole practice. Okay, on your next breath, you can start counting the seconds. finish your last round? So what second ratios were people able to discover? 4 seconds, 8 seconds work, or something longer, something shorter?
5 seconds, 10 seconds.
Okay, well, 4, 5, 10 to 10 seconds. Yeah.
Exhale for 10 seconds.
Okay.
18.
Okay, good.
My back hurts when I do that. I don't know why. It might be just the sitting,
Uh-huh.
but right at a particular point, I have back pain.
Well, you see, the thing is, it may not necessarily be back pain, right? Like again, what I was explaining last week, if you remember, right, is that when you do this practice, it balances the flow in Ida and Pingala, and what happens is it causes spiritual energy to go up the center of your spine in Sushumna, and as the energy goes up your spine, there's points all along your spine. At the tailbone, there's a spiritual center, which you'll feel it, right? Just opposite the navel, there's one, so you'll feel that too, right? Just in that point, opposite the center of the chest, there's one. Behind the throat, there's one. So all these points along the spine, you'll actually feel that tingling there, basically, right? So, it might be normal, right?
I found that it's a great concentration in just forgetting everything.
Exactly, yes, it's very relaxing, very relaxing. I mean, all the practices are, that's the whole purpose of the practice, right? You turn your mind inward, you forget about everything else, you come up extremely relaxed, right? And you actually stay relaxed, much more so relaxed through the entire day, in fact, right? So it's actually very, very beneficial to do this every morning, right? So the next thing is the meditation. So again, this is like I said, this is like a real meditation practice, right? People who practice this, you can practice just this if you want and achieve extremely great results. It's called Anulom Vilom and Pranashuddhi. Again, it is an alternate nostril breathing of sorts, except you do it, with meditative breathing, so just normal breathing, right? With pranayama, like I said before, we do the full inhale, the full exhale. So now you just do normal breathing, and you just move your concentration, right? So this practice is, you sit in your posture, close your eyes, right? Breathe normally, right? But you just move your concentration of your mind, right? So when you inhale, feel the air only coming in through your left nostril, right? When you exhale, feel the air leaving your right nostril only with your concentration. Just concentrate only on that nostril and feel only the air in that nostril when you exhale. Similarly, inhale, right nostril, feel only the air in the right nostril. And when you exhale, feel only the air in the left nostril, right? Anyways, it's an interesting practice. You probably don't realize how you can move your concentration until you actually try it and realize that, yeah, I can feel only the air in one nostril at a time.
So you're using both, right?
Yeah, you're using
or
both.
Or you try to use one? Closing it.
No, you don't, you just breathe normally.
Just focus.
Just focus your concentration so you'll only feel, so kind of like block out the feeling of any other feeling. You block out all other feeling and be fully concentrated on only the flow in one nostril at a time, right? So it's interesting little practice. So again, the next part of it is that you actually do counting associated with it, right? So you start at 100, right? So, and then you count backwards to 1, right? So the way you work is for countable. So this is one round. Inhale left, exhale right, exhale left is one round, so that's like 100. Then you do one at 99, inhale left, exhale right, exhale left, 99, right? And you keep going, 98, so you do 4 of those, 100, 99, 98, 97. For 96, you concentrate, you feel the air coming in both nostrils when you inhale, and imagine the air is going in between your eyebrows, right? So imagine all the air is like coming in both nostrils and going in between the eyebrows, right when you inhale. And just feel it going in right here, right? And same thing when you exhale. Imagine the air is coming out from between the eyebrows and going out both nostrils when you exhale. Okay? That's for 96. So 100, 99, 98, 97 are alternate. Okay? 96, you do both together. Should do both together into the here and then out, right? Then 95, 94, 93, 92 is again alternate. And 91 together. And it keeps repeating then, right? So 90, 89, 88, 87, right? Alternate. 86, right? 85, 84, 83, 82, alternate, 81, together. And you just keep going all the way down to 1, right? When you reach 1, you're done. Okay? So we'll give that a try, right? Again, if you, again, it takes about 10 minutes actually, I mean, for most people, I think. If you're done quicker, some people breathe really fast, right? Actually, I had one guy who was able to do it like, 2.5 times in 10 minutes, right? 250 counts he did.
But it's more beneficial to do it slowly or to do it faster?
Well, no, breathe normally, right? Just breathe normally, right? Whatever your normal breathing rate is. So the thing is, if you do the Nadi Shodhana and keep doing the full inhale, your breathing will naturally slow down, right? So that when you do this practice, normal breathing will actually become very slow, right? You'll be very calm. When you're very calm and very relaxed, everything slows down actually to a great degree, right? Your heart rate, your breathing, and you're very relaxed, right? Your breathing is very relaxed. You breathe deep with your diaphragm, right? All of that happens normally, right? So just breathe normally. And like I said, when you do the Nadi Shodhana every day, eventually, your normal breathing will become very relaxed and very proper and very correct. But just let it happen naturally, right? So just breathe normally and just do it in whatever count you reach to. So again, if you reach, 1 before the 10 minutes is up, then just start again at 100 and keep going again, right? Okay? Anyways, I'll let you know when it's time to stop. So, rest your hands on your knees, meditate posture, back straight, right? Again, try to tilt your hips forward, right? You need to, so that there's no strain on your back, right? So that's another tricky thing. So sometimes it's beneficial to just sit on something, right? Just raise your bottom up a bit, so then you can tilt your hips forward a bit, right? And then so your back should be relaxed, right? If your back is straining, it's not very beneficial then. Your back needs to be relaxed. It should be like comfortable, right? And just hands on the knees. Okay, close your eyes. Take a few normal breaths, and then begin starting with 100 and count down. finish your last round. You make it down to 1? 50? Okay. Good.
39.
Okay. Oh, good. When you practice on your own, you can see if you can go all the way down to 1. So there's one more thing to introduce in lesson 6. So I'd say practice it just like I taught you just now for half the week. But the addition to it is to actually do a pranayama technique, Ujjayi pranayama, while you're doing this practice. And what Ujjayi pranayama is to just do a slight constriction of the throat. Basically, when you whisper, you constrict the throat slightly. So when you whisper like this, you constrict your throat, right? So you just do that same constriction like when you whisper, and just breathe. So when you breathe with that constriction, there's like a slight wheezing sound you'll get, right? So you just you can hear your breath, right? So it helps with the concentration as well. When you can hear your breath, it's kind of easier to concentrate on the flow of air as well, right? So the other thing you do while you're doing that as well is what's called Kichari Mudra, right? So the tongue, down the center of the tongue, there's another spiritual pathway, and there's energy that comes out the tip of the tongue actually. So what you do is you take your tongue, same thing like we did for Sima Kriya last week, and you curl it up, back, right? So you want to send that energy back into your body basically. Huh? So up and back. The idea here is, there's I forget what it's called, the little piece of flesh that hangs at your back of your throat. The idea is to turn your tongue up and back and touch the tip of your tongue to that piece of flesh hanging down back there, right? See if you can stretch it back and touch that tip. And then hold it there, right? Basically that completes the spiritual circuit, right? A lot of, so again, we'll learn more about, closing spiritual circuits in later lessons, but that is one that you can close, right? And again, it enhances the whole practice, right? So again, I'd say practice a few days just normally without doing these two, then add these two. As you are able to do the practice comfortably, then begin adding Ujjayi pranayama and Kichari Mudra. And that is it. Any questions? Okay, so next week there's no class next week. So we'll meet again in 2 weeks on Saturday. Okay? So see you then.
Oh, I forgot to